I had some great conversations at the recent HR Tech Europe event in Amsterdam. And this episode is the second of two featuring the shorter interviews I recorded there. Keep listening for insights on why HR has never been more needed, what's actually getting in the way of AI adoption, and the strategic shift the function has to make to stay relevant. Support for this podcast comes from Smart Recruiters. Are you looking to supercharge your hiring? Meet Winston, Smart Recruiters' AI-powered companion. I've had a demo of Winston. The capabilities are extremely powerful, and it's been crafted to elevate hiring to a whole new level. This AI sidekick goes beyond the usual assistant, handling all the time-consuming admin work so you can focus on connecting with top talent and making better hiring decisions. From screening candidates to scheduling interviews, Winston manages it all with AI precision, keeping the hiring process fast, smart, and effective. Head over to smartrecruiters.com and see how Winston can deliver superhuman results.
There's been more of scientific discovery, more of technical advancement and material progress in your lifetime and mine than in all the ages of history.
Hi there, welcome to episode 793 of Recruiting Future with me, Matt Alder. HR is at a pivotal moment. AI has shifted the conversation in a way that nothing else has in years. The demands on the function are growing faster than its capacity to respond, and the questions being asked of it are bigger than they've ever been. The opportunity is significant, but so is the gap between where HR is now and where it needs to be. So, what does it actually take for HR to step up into this moment? In this episode, recorded at HR Tech Europe in Amsterdam, I'm joined by two guests with strong views on what's holding the function back and what good looks like. Anna Carlsson is an HR tech analyst based in Stockholm, and she shares what she's seeing across the Nordic market and why culture and infrastructure matter more than technology itself. Nazim Ünlü, a global HRD and HR transformation lead, then joins me to talk about why HR is needed more than ever and the strategic shift the function has to make to stay relevant. Hi Anna, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be talking to you. Could you introduce yourself and tell everyone what you do?
I'm an HR tech analyst in the Nordics. I'm located in Sweden, in Stockholm. I've been working in the space or covering the space since 14, 15 years. And the last few years I've been working, analyzing, sharing, doing different things, speaking about the Nordic market, because people think it's very digital, but it's not in HR, which is interesting. So it's like a paradox. And then, I studied the global market as well to see what could be fitting into the market and so on. So,
in all the time that you've been doing that, has there been a period of time like what we're going through now? With the change and everything. Yeah. What kind of really makes it stand out?
The way AI has come into the HR market has pushed HR to think broader. It's not enough. I mean, it's pushing them to understand more about technology. I mean, I've been trying to move the needle on utilizing technology and data for a long, long time, and it's kind of not sticking. But now something else is happening. So the pace and the interest has really changed.
We're at HR Tech Europe in Amsterdam, and I know you've had two very long days. Obviously, you've had a lot of conversations and seen a lot of what's going on. What's kind of stood out for you in terms of things that you've heard or conversations that you've been in?
I mean, the thing about how to take AI and make it real productive in your organization, moving from the just knowing to doing something. I mean, even when I had one of the Ask the Expert sessions, and it was about HR technology and data and AI, but what did we talk about? AI. Yeah. And then I tried to pull them into talking about, you need the infrastructure, need to connect your data, and otherwise you won't have anything to build your real enterprise-wide AI on. But we're not really there yet.
And I think that's interesting because we are at that kind of almost that shiny object stage. Everyone is making big promises and talking about amazing things. There's a real kind of array of different sort of technologies here. But that conversation's come up quite a few times in terms of how do you get this into an enterprise in a way that it works, but also in a way that you don't stifle kind of innovation. And that's the big challenge, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I also moderated a panel with 2 experienced professionals who's been trying and working on it. And we just agreed that everyone is at the same stage. We have to learn from each other. Those who win has to be open to that we don't have a map. And so it's a lot of people feel pressure to perform and deliver, but it's also at the same time you have to think what you're doing.
You were saying there about the region that you work in, not being as digital. This is a bit of a kind of a leveler, isn't it? In terms of everyone is sort of getting this technology at the same time. Does that kind of move things in different ways in different places, do you think?
It depends on how much, how digital you've been before, how fast you can move. I can see that we have a lot of tech companies in Sweden. Just mention Lovable, for example. Everyone knows that's Swedish, Stockholm. And those companies, those businesses, they are moving ahead. They are able to really utilize their teams and try things and implement things, and they have like a technology mentality, or
it's like the DNA of the company.
Yes.
Isn't it? I think, yeah.
So they are moving ahead, and I'm happy for that because then we can watch what they're doing. But it's also showing that gap to all the rest, and all the rest are at the same place almost. Even, large tech companies are struggling with how to really get the benefit.
It's always interesting that on the one hand we hear about sort of layoffs because of AI, and then all the AI companies talking about recruiting, paying ridiculous amounts of money to recruit people because they still need humans to do it. So it is interesting. There's obviously a lot of anxiety out there in the profession about AI and what it might do to jobs and careers and those sort of things. And, maybe that is holding people back as well. What would your advice be to an organization who is kind of looking at this space with in confusion, because it is really confusing in terms of what's going on, and just in terms of getting started, making those first steps, and just really trying to understand where they need to be?
I give the advice of first, you have to have trust in how you can do it, or feel that secure space. So you need to have the guidelines in place in some shape or form, telling this is what you can use, think about this. But at the same time, not frightening, so they're encouraged. So it's a lot about culture, to dare to try things. And those I see succeeding they almost take like a guerrilla approach, that someone has just decided that we are going to succeed in this. We're teaching people how to use it, how to test it, how to try it, and we give them some time to do that. So it's kind of that it's more about mentality. Of course, they also need to give access to technology and advice on what to use. But it's not usually that hinders the movement. It's more give people places where they can discuss and share experiences, because it's not like you can tell someone how to use AI.
Yeah, exactly. You have to work it out for yourself, basically, or ask AI to tell you how to use it.
Yes, at least for the personal.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you also need to learn about what AI can do to understand how you can apply it at the wider scale.
And as a final question, sort of talking about those applications, as I say, some interesting technology companies here, many of whom I've not had the chance to speak to before, so I've had some really interesting conversations. Is there a particular kind of use case for AI that sort of stood out from the companies that you've talked to? Has anything surprised you, or anything that you think is particularly interesting?
There are some really interesting companies in terms of assessing skills, for example, in new ways. We've been trying the skills, discussing the skills topic for a long time, and it's hard to how to both evaluate and how to put skills into systems and organizing them. But now when we have AI, we can do it in a different way in how you assess people, not only for skills, but also for emotions and what do you think about the company. And I love these new applications of AI that can make you just say what you think instead of fill in a form. So those are the things I love to see here.
Anna, thank you very much for talking to me.
I'm so happy that you could have me.
Hi, Nazim, and welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. It's great to see you again. You've always been in a super good energy. Good to see you.
Yeah, well, brilliant to have you back on the show. Could you just start off by introducing yourself and telling everyone what you do?
Sure, thank you. So my name is Nazim. I'm a HR tech investor and HR BP and HR transformation leader last 20 years. Recently, I'm transitioning from Novartis, which is a pharma company. And in the meantime, I'm also supporting HR tech companies for investing and more IPO readiness. Enjoying a lot that meeting with the new productization companies, a lot of ideation. Yeah.
So we're at HR Tech second day in Amsterdam. What do you kind of make of the event? What's it been like for you?
It's my third time, by the way, in Amsterdam, and what I'm super happy that this conference is every year really that disrupting even itself, because the idea is HR tech, but HR tech is very, very interesting, like a concept that's in HR world that you're not get used to. So what is this? Yeah. And what I like in this conference is that there is, of course, the HR tech product companies, different diverse HR leaders from across Europe. And it's a very humble environment to learn new things, first of all. And the other good thing as well, that you meet with curious people.
Yes.
And then I like this, again, I don't like this always the family community thing, but this is about a nice community of people that thinking and what if scenarios, what can I do? Because that's a very good ownership, because as a HR professional, wherever that's which a part of the HR division you're working, we need to own this.
Because it is a very disruptive time at the moment. I mean, technology is turning everything on its head, but everything else from skill shortages to aging workforces to economic disasters, it's just all going on at the moment. So, what's kind of happening? How do you see it panning out? What does the future look like?
Let me start with the good thing. It's not my start with the good thing, but let me start. Good thing is the companies plus the whole world needs HR more than ever. Why? Because there's always a question why we need HR. Now, then nobody's even asking questions that, okay, how to find the in boardroom role for HR? No. Think about that. The world has a different crisis that nobody understands, and nobody thinks that a boardroom look and point out that to HR leader, can we get your support? It's super interesting, and it's not HR tech. This is really a big transformation of humanity problem, and that's even for me the new future of HR, and that how that HR leadership will transform its own company. Plus, how to support the world transformation. Because now the world is really connect each other a lot because of technology. But in the meantime, human is being human, it's just making tons of conflicts, wars, and disrupting.
Yes.
So in this context, what the HR people are doing very well is building humanistic, sustainable, egalitarian works environment. And I love this. Only problem is the negative part. Unfortunately, our HR colleagues has a big, of course, people are scary, and I agree, has less appetite and empathy to try to even understand this problem, to solve. And during my presentation, I tried to build this hypothesis that what is look like, and not even trying to solve, but being courage to discuss, chat, because HR is always like a observer of the company, right? And with the technology powered environment, the boardroom CEOs, now they got the whole insights.
Yeah.
But who needs to humanize this data?
I think that's the thing. And I think it's with this phase of technology development that we're going through, I don't think anything has ever sat sort of more clearly in HR's ballpark before. And I think the frustration I have is that people aren't running with it as quickly, and organizations aren't necessarily thinking about it as people issues in the way that they should. And it's been good to see some of those conversations starting. I've seen some of them here, but there is kind of still a way to go with that, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. There's more and more way to think about it. I think the one thing that I was debating after my presentation, how now HR is really a good multidisciplinary function, but that's, we need more depth.
Yeah.
More smart people, more strategic people, and people not only understand the data, who can really think about multidisciplinary style, and that to think about, okay, what's that even that my big contribution to this company's problems.
Yeah.
And for example, that I was discussing with one a young HR person, I amazed that she's investing on HR operations. Yes. It's a bit like, oh, it's not good HR core, HR operations, payroll. No, this is the biggest financial element.
Yeah.
And you don't want to invest to understand about your real data that you can contribute to a board level.
Yeah.
Big, like even the structure for any board. But now, thanks to this the data digital environment, we have it like a time to understand. But of course, still you need more courageous.
But just from a really kind of maybe a more transactional technology perspective, there are lots of interesting vendors here. What I like about this event in Amsterdam is that, you know, there are vendors here I've not seen at a kind of other events. And there's lots of Dutch companies as well who I always find to be particularly kind of innovative, which is interesting. I mean, are there anything that kind of sort of caught your eye, any interesting use cases or anything that sort of stands out?
Hold on, I think that I also try to discuss with like a small companies who has like a self-made, trying to not like solve every problem, because that's also, I'm allergic. If you try to solve every problem, I'm automatically allergic. Please be naive and genuine. I respect that you're going to make business. One company I like it a lot. I think it's a Romanian company. They build a hologram of like an AI-based avatar. I think it's interesting about scalability. I'm more thinking about the scalability and how that we can implement in any learning. Interesting. You can use that even definitely the learning, or that even you can support some of the persons how to have some learning disability, something else.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. But it's very
so it's actually a hologram.
But you can design and get support, because for me, even when I think about it in kind of HR tech product and as an HR person as well, how to implement and humanize this for everybody.
Yeah.
You think about, of course, there's even the diversity part. Yeah. I know this now the D&I diversity part discussions are a bit like a far away because of some world problems, but that's the HR, the responsible about how to build fair working structures.
Final question for you: how far do you think we're going to get with this year? What sort of changes do you think might happen in the next 6 to 12 months?
You know what? Even that last year, I never thought that we're gonna get used to about AI agents, AI workflows, AI teammates. I think it's not even 1 year. I think that you're gonna get used to discuss here that how to let a non-AI workforce in the team, and what is the leadership need, what are the role of the HR to support a team of fully agents, and that half hybrid maybe, and what are the leadership conduct behaviors interest.
That's absolutely fascinating. Definitely. Thank you very much for talking to me. My thanks to Anna and Nazim. You can follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can search all the past episodes at recruitingfuture.com. On that site, you can also sign up for our weekly newsletter, Recruiting Future Feast, and get the inside track on everything that's coming up on the show. Thanks very much for listening. I'll be back next time, and I hope you'll join me.
This is my show.